If you don't put your child's father on the birth certificate and he's not really coming around trying to get involved with the child, should you file petitions to protect yourself, to protect your right to custody if and when, he decides to actually come around? It's a good question and one that I get some version of all the time. My name is Katie Carter. I'm a Virginia-based family law attorney and I represent women exclusively in divorce, custody, and child support cases. And I've got an answer for you. Unfortunately, it's definitely not as easy as just filing for custody. You essentially already have it just by the absence of his presence in your life. And filing something with the court is not going to increase the rights that you have. If anything, it could decrease them, right? Because if you file for custody, visitation, and child support, then he's going to be served. And if he's served, I think you increase the likelihood that he's going to come around, especially if you're asking for child support. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but the original question was, what do we do to protect you? How do we kind of make sure we assert your rights? Not how do we make sure we get child support, which I think are two different questions. And it's always a weighing of the factors. Is it more important to me to keep what is essentially full custody already, or is it more important to me to get child support? I'm not here to weigh in on that, but just to let you know, once he gets served, it increases the likelihood that he can get involved, and you already have custody and visitation anyway. But there's nothing that you can do to prevent him from filing something later if he decides to. In Virginia, if he's not on the birth certificate, he's going to have to establish paternity before he can ask for custody visitation or before he can be ordered to pay child support. But that's not a big hurdle. That's something that we do all the time. You don't have to put him on the child's birth certificate. You don't have to give the child his last name. But that doesn't mean that he's out of options or that there's something specific you can be doing to prevent him from doing that. If he wants to come back around, if he wants to establish paternity, if he wants to file petitions, then whether or not you filed them already is not going to have a protective effect. So if I were you, I would sit tight unless and until he did something that moved the needle forward and I felt like I had to respond.